Who is him? That's the first question we need to ask ourselves. Him isn't some abstract idea or societal image of perfection. It's the strongest, most capable, and truest version of you. To become him, you have to start with a vision. What does the best version of you look like? How does he act? How does he carry himself in the world? What goals drive him? The truth is, you can't achieve what you can't see. That's why clarity is key. Take a moment and imagine him. Picture that version of yourself who wakes up with purpose, who speaks with conviction, who walks into a room and commands respect, not because he demands it, but because his energy simply radiates confidence. You don't have to have all the details figured out, but you need to have a starting point. You need a direction. Without it, you're just wandering, hoping you'll stumble upon greatness. But here's the thing, defining this vision isn't just about imagining success. It's about being honest with yourself, where you are right now versus where you want to be. It's about identifying the gaps in your habits, your mindset, and your daily actions. This isn't a negative process, it's a necessary one. You have to own your reality to reshape it. And once you do that, the process of transformation begins. Now, let me tell you something important. The vision of him isn't static. It will evolve as you grow. What you aspire to be today might shift as you overcome challenges and reach milestones, and that's okay. The key is to start moving. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start with what you have. Take that vision and let it guide your actions every single day. Here's where it gets real. Becoming him isn't just about dreaming. It's about doing. It's about aligning your life with the person you see in your mind. You can't dream of being confident if you're constantly doubting yourself. You can't envision success if you're stuck in the same unproductive habits. Every choice you make either moves you closer to or further from that vision. The question is, which direction are you choosing today? The good news is you're in control. You get to decide who you want to be and how far you want to go. The bad news, no one else is going to do it for you. This is your journey, and it begins with a decision, a commitment to yourself that you're not going to settle for anything less than the person you're capable of becoming. So as you move forward, remember this. Becoming him doesn't happen overnight, but it starts today. And every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you're meant to be. Keep that vision alive and let it guide you to greatness. Becoming him isn't about grand gestures or one-time efforts. It's about consistency, showing up for yourself every single day. The foundation of that consistency is discipline. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not the loud part of success that everyone sees. It's the quiet, often unnoticed work that happens when no one is watching. It's waking up early to prepare. It's doing the hard things when you'd rather take the easy way out. And it's sticking to your commitments long after the initial excitement fades. But let's be honest, discipline can feel like a grind at times. So why do it? Because discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. You can't just wish your way to becoming him. You have to work for it. And that work starts with mastering your habits. Small, consistent actions, whether it's exercising daily, dedicating time to personal growth, or cutting out distractions. Compound over time. The person you become is a direct result of the habits you cultivate. The thing about discipline is that it doesn't care how you feel. On the days when you're tired, unmotivated, or overwhelmed, discipline is what keeps you moving forward. It's what separates those who talk about becoming their best selves from those who actually do it. It's the unshakable force that says, I made a commitment to myself and I'm not backing down. But let me tell you something important. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's not about never slipping up or always having everything figured out. It's about getting back on track quickly when you fall. It's about recognizing that progress matters more than perfection. Every day you have the chance to make decisions that align with the person you want to become. Some days those decisions will be easy. Other days they'll feel impossible. But every time you choose discipline, you're strengthening that part of yourself that refuses to quit. Discipline also builds self-respect. When you keep the promises you make to yourself, something shifts inside you. You start to trust yourself more. You realize that you are capable of more than you ever thought. And that trust, that self-belief, becomes the foundation of your confidence. It's not just about accomplishing external goals. It's about becoming someone you're proud of, someone who doesn't need external validation because they know they've put in the work. Here's another truth. Discipline is contagious. When you start showing up for yourself, other areas of your life start to improve. You develop momentum. The energy you put into one area spills over into another. The discipline to wake up early fuels the energy to be more productive. The discipline to take care of your health improves your focus and resilience. It's all connected, and it all starts with that commitment to show up. So when you think about becoming him, remember this: confidence is not something you're born with. It's not an innate trait reserved for the lucky ones or those who seem to have it all figured out. Confidence is a skill, one that you can build over time. And here's the secret. It's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about knowing who you truly are and owning that fully. Confidence comes from self-acceptance, from knowing that no matter what happens, you are enough, as you are right now. We all face moments where we question ourselves, where the voice in our head tells us we're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough. But confidence is about choosing to ignore that voice and moving forward anyway. It's about quieting the self-doubt and listening to the inner belief that says, I can handle whatever comes my way. The more you act in alignment with that belief, the stronger your confidence becomes. It's not about being fearless, it's about moving in spite of fear. Every time you face discomfort and choose to act, you reinforce your confidence. But here's where people get it wrong. Confidence isn't about being arrogant. It's not about putting others down or pretending that you have all the answers. True confidence comes from humility, from recognizing your strengths while also being aware of your weaknesses. It's the awareness that you don't have to be perfect to be capable. The world doesn't need you to be flawless. It just needs you to be authentic. When you can stand in your truth, when you can own who you are, flaws and all, that's when your confidence begins to shine. There's also a very important piece to this. Confidence doesn't come from external validation. It doesn't come from the praise of others or the approval of society. True confidence is built from within. It's when you no longer seek validation from others because you've already validated yourself. This shift in mindset is crucial because if your confidence depends on the opinions of others, it will always be fragile. It will rise and fall with the approval or disapproval of those around you. But when you learn to stand firm in your own self-worth, nothing can shake that foundation. So another thing about confidence, it grows with action. Every time you take a step outside your comfort zone, every time you face a challenge head on, your confidence expands. It's the small wins that accumulate over time. It's not the big moments of victory, but the consistent, everyday acts of courage that build your confidence muscle. And the more you practice stepping into discomfort, the more confident you'll become. You don't have to wait for a perfect moment to feel ready. Start now and the confidence will follow. But what about the setbacks, the failures, the times when you fall short? Here's the thing, failure doesn't erode confidence, it builds it. Confidence isn't about never failing, it's about how you respond to failure. When you fail and get back up, when you dust yourself off and keep moving, that's when your confidence grows. You learn that you can face adversity and still come out on the other side stronger. Failure doesn't define you, it refines you. And let's talk about something that's crucial to confidence, body language. The way you carry yourself speaks volumes. When you walk into a room with your head held high, shoulders back, and a firm grip on your posture, you project confidence, even if you don't feel it inside just yet. Over time, this physical shift begins to influence your mindset. You start to believe the image you're projecting. So stand tall, take up space, and own your presence in the world. It's an easy yet powerful way to enhance your inner confidence. So, as you set out to become him, remember this. Confidence is not something you have to wait for or wish for. It's something you can create. One small act of courage at a time. It's about stepping into who you already are and trusting that you have everything you need to face whatever comes your way. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being you, unapologetically and authentically, and knowing that you are more than enough. It's not about being perfect, and it's not about quick wins. It's about the daily decisions you make to honor your commitments, even when it's hard. It's about choosing growth over comfort, progress over excuses, and consistency over perfection. That's how you build the life you want and the person you're destined to become. Resilience is the muscle that allows us to endure, adapt, and grow stronger in the face of hardship. It's the ability to bounce back from challenges, setbacks, and failures, not just surviving, but learning and evolving from them. And here's the thing, no one gets through life unscathed. Everyone faces obstacles, whether it's a personal loss, a professional failure, or an unexpected detour. Life will throw challenges your way. But resilience is what turns these moments of adversity into opportunities for growth. It's the difference between being broken by your struggles and being transformed by them. When we talk about resilience, we often think of toughness, but it's more than just being strong in the face of difficulty. It's about flexibility. Resilience is about adapting to change, finding new ways to move forward when the path you are on no longer exists. It's not about denying your emotions or pretending like everything is okay when it's not. It's about acknowledging the pain, feeling the disappointment, and then choosing to keep going. It's the quiet determination to rise again, even when it seems easier to stay down. But here's the powerful truth about resilience. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Think of resilience like a muscle. The more challenges you face, the more you stretch your capacity to deal with life's difficulties. You don't build resilience by avoiding hard times. You build it by facing them head on. Each time you overcome an obstacle, your resilience grows and you become more capable of handling the next one. Over time, you realize that you're not just enduring hardships, you're thriving because of them. This doesn't mean that building resilience is easy. It's not about brushing things off or ignoring the tough emotions that come with difficult situations. In fact, true resilience requires you to confront your struggles, feel the weight of them, and still move forward. It's about sitting with your discomfort, your frustration, and your sadness, and choosing not to be consumed by them. It's knowing that in time, the pain will pass, and you will come out stronger on the other side. Resilience is also about perspective. It's about reframing challenges as opportunities. When you face a setback, it's easy to fall into a victim mindset, to believe that the world is against you or that things will never improve. But resilient people look at the same setback and ask themselves, what can I learn from this? How can this make me better? They understand that every challenge, no matter how painful, carries a lesson. And it's in those lessons that we find growth. There's also a huge benefit to resilience in terms of your mental health. When you build the ability to bounce back, you start to realize that your struggles do not define you. They may feel overwhelming in the moment, but they are temporary. Resilience teaches you that you are not your failures, your mistakes, or your setbacks. You are the strength and courage you show in overcoming them. When you stop seeing challenges as permanent roadblocks and start seeing them as temporary obstacles, your mental and emotional state becomes much more balanced. But there's one thing that all resilient people have in common. They don't try to do it alone. Resilience doesn't mean you have to be invincible or never ask for help. It means recognizing when you need support and being brave enough to reach out for it. Whether it's friends, family, mentors, or professional help, you don't have to navigate the toughest times of your life in isolation. Building resilience is about having the strength to lean on others when needed and the wisdom to know that it's okay to ask for help. The power of resilience is that it not only helps you bounce back, but it also prepares you for the future. When you face and overcome challenges, you gain confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes next. You start to see yourself as someone who can handle adversity, someone who has weathered storms and emerged stronger. And that self-belief becomes a cornerstone of your confidence moving forward. So, as you go forward in your journey to become him, remember this. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about embracing the lessons that come with it. It's about facing the hard times with the knowledge that you will come out stronger, smarter, and more capable. Each challenge is an opportunity to build resilience. And the more resilient you become, the more unstoppable you will be. Keep growing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep moving forward. Growth is the essence of becoming the best version of yourself. And to experience growth, you must commit to learning continuously. The world is constantly evolving, and those who succeed are not necessarily the most talented, but the most adaptable. The people who are truly exceptional aren't the ones who claim to know it all. They're the ones who remain curious, open to new ideas, and ready to learn from every experience, every person, and every situation. Learning isn't something you do only when you're in school or when you feel like it. It's a lifelong pursuit. And the beauty of it is that you don't need to have all the answers right away. You just need to keep asking questions, keep seeking knowledge, and keep refining your skills. The first step in continuous learning is adopting the mindset of a student, one who is always looking to improve, no matter how much they already know. Too often, we fall into the trap of believing that once we've acquired a certain level of knowledge or experience, we've made it. But the reality is, the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. And growth is essential to becoming the person you're meant to be. You have to challenge yourself, to step outside your comfort zone, to seek knowledge in places you wouldn't normally go, to expose yourself to new perspectives. It's in those unfamiliar places that you'll find the most growth. But here's the thing, learning doesn't always happen in classrooms or from books. Sometimes it's in the messy, unfiltered experiences that life throws at you. It's in the moments when things don't go according to plan and you're forced to find new solutions. It's in the failures and the mistakes, because those are some of the most powerful teachers. When you make a mistake, you have a choice. You can either view it as a setback or as a lesson. And the people who truly grow, the ones who become the best versions of themselves, are the ones who learn from those mistakes and use them to fuel their next steps. Learning is also about being humble enough to admit that you don't know everything. This can be one of the hardest things to do because it requires vulnerability and openness. But if you approach life with the humility of a beginner, always ready to learn, you open yourself up to an endless pool of wisdom. You don't have to know it all right now, and you don't have to have all the answers. It's okay to admit that you're still figuring things out. What matters is your willingness to keep evolving, to keep improving, and to keep adding tools to your arsenal. Another important part of continuous learning is seeking feedback. Growth doesn't happen in isolation. It happens through relationships, through mentorship, and through being willing to listen to others. Feedback, whether it's constructive criticism or positive reinforcement, is a gift. It shows you where you're excelling and where you still have room to grow. Many people shy away from feedback because it can feel uncomfortable, but the truth is, it's one of the most valuable tools for growth. The more you open yourself to feedback, the more you'll understand about yourself and the areas you can improve. So seek it out, be open to it, and don't take it personally. Take it as a sign that you're committed to becoming better. To grow, you also need to be patient. Continuous learning is a long-term commitment. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results, but the process of learning and growing takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is personal growth. The journey is gradual, and sometimes it can feel like you're not making any progress. But trust me, you are. Every day that you show up and continue to learn, you are laying the foundation for something bigger. So don't get discouraged by the slow progress. The small steps, the small victories add up over time. And when you look back, you'll realize just how far you've come. Well, Jake, thanks for coming back to the show. I appreciate the time. One of the most important aspects of continuous learning is curiosity. You have to remain curious about the world around you. Ask questions, explore new ideas, and never stop seeking out new knowledge. Curiosity keeps you engaged with life. It keeps you hungry for new experiences, new challenges, and new opportunities. When you cultivate curiosity, you stay open to everything life has to offer, and you see every situation as an opportunity to learn something new. Curiosity is what keeps your mind sharp and your soul engaged. It prevents stagnation and keeps you moving forward. Finally, continuous learning doesn't just help you become smarter or more skilled, it helps you become more adaptable. The world is changing at a rapid pace, and if you want to stay ahead, you need to be able to adapt. Learning allows you to be flexible in your approach, to pivot when things aren't going as planned, and to make the best of every situation. It keeps you relevant in a world that's constantly shifting, and it ensures that you never get left behind. So as you work toward becoming him, remember this: the key to reaching your fullest potential is not to stop learning. Commit to growing every day, no matter how small the step. Be curious, be humble, and be open to feedback. Embrace your mistakes as opportunities for growth, and always remember that learning is a lifelong journey, not a destination. Keep your mind open, and your capacity for growth will be limitless. Discipline is the backbone of any successful endeavor. Without it, even the most brilliant ideas or the greatest potential will remain untapped. Discipline is what transforms intention into action, and action into results. It's easy to get excited about a goal or a dream when the idea first sparks, but maintaining the focus and consistency needed to bring that vision to life requires discipline. It's about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it, even when the excitement fades and the initial enthusiasm starts to wane. Think of discipline as the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the consistency of small actions that compound over time, creating momentum and progress. And here's the truth: discipline doesn't have to be rigid or restrictive. It's not about depriving yourself or following a set of rules that feel impossible to stick to. Discipline is about making choices that align with your bigger goals, day in and day out, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. It's about making the right decisions in the moment, choosing to stay on track when distractions arise, and committing to your own growth no matter the obstacles that get in your way. What makes discipline so powerful is that it's within your control. Unlike talent or external circumstances, discipline is a skill that you can develop. It starts with understanding that your actions today have a direct impact on your future. Every time you choose to follow through on a commitment, even when you don't feel like it, you reinforce your ability to take action. Discipline is built on habits, and habits are formed through consistent, repeated action. So if you want to achieve something, you need to build habits that support that goal. These habits don't have to be grand, they just need to be consistent. The power of small, everyday actions is often underestimated. It's the little things, the daily habits and routines, that add up to massive results over time. But discipline isn't just about sticking to a routine, it's also about accountability. You need to hold yourself responsible for your actions and be honest with yourself when you're not doing what you said you would. It's easy to let yourself off the hook when no one else is watching, but discipline thrives on self-accountability. It's about making promises to yourself and keeping them, even when the easy way out seems tempting. And if you do slip up, as we all do at times, discipline means picking yourself back up, forgiving yourself, and getting back on track, without letting the mistake derail your progress. Another aspect of discipline is learning to say no. We live in a world full of distractions, temptations, and endless opportunities, but not all of them are aligned with your goals. Discipline requires the ability to say no to things that don't serve your bigger purpose, and yes to the things that move you closer to your dreams. This might mean turning down social invitations, avoiding unnecessary distractions, or even setting boundaries with people who pull you off course. Saying no can be difficult, especially when it feels like you're missing out, but it's an essential part of staying disciplined. By protecting your time and energy, you ensure that your focus remains on what truly matters. One of the most important aspects of discipline is the ability to delay gratification. We live in an instant gratification society where we want everything now and we want it easy. But true discipline is about resisting that urge for immediate rewards and focusing on the long-term vision. It's about making sacrifices today for a better tomorrow. That's whether it's putting in the extra hours of work, prioritizing your health over short-term comfort, or staying committed to a goal even when progress feels slow. Delayed gratification is key to building lasting success. The ability to resist short-term temptations for long-term rewards is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. But here's the real challenge: staying disciplined during difficult times. The true test of your discipline comes when things don't go as planned, when obstacles appear, or when you're faced with uncertainty. It's easy to be disciplined when everything is going smoothly, but when life throws curveballs, that's when discipline becomes truly powerful. It's during these tough moments that your resolve is tested. Staying disciplined through challenges is what builds resilience. It's what allows you to push through and stay committed, even when the road gets tough. And this is where the most growth happens. Not when things are easy, but when you face adversity and choose to stay the course. Discipline also requires balance. It's important to push yourself, but it's equally important to give yourself the space to rest and recharge. Discipline is not about working yourself into the ground. It's about knowing when to take breaks, when to step back, and when to reflect. True discipline is sustainable. It's about working smart, not just hard. This balance allows you to stay consistent without burning out. You need the energy and clarity to continue making disciplined decisions over the long haul, and that requires taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. The last thing to remember about discipline is that it's not just about achieving goals, it's about building character. When you practice discipline, you build trust with yourself. You prove to yourself that you can follow through on your commitments, that you can resist distractions, and that you can keep moving forward despite challenges. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every day you show up and make disciplined choices, you're building the person you want to become. And over time, the results will speak for themselves. As you strive to become him, remember that discipline is the foundation upon which everything else is built. It's the consistency, the commitment, and the willingness to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, that will lead you to success. Stay disciplined in your pursuits and watch how your life transforms. Patience is the quiet strength that allows us to endure and thrive even when progress seems slow or uncertain. In a world that thrives on instant gratification, patience can seem like a rare commodity. We want results now, and we often measure success by how quickly we can achieve our goals. But true growth, true mastery, and true success don't come overnight. Patience is the cornerstone of long-term achievement. It's the ability to stay committed to a process even when the rewards are not immediate, and the ability to trust that your hard work will eventually pay off. When you're on a journey to become the person you envision, you need patience more than ever. The road will often feel long, and the finish line may seem distant. But it's in the waiting, the process, and the persistence that growth happens. It's in the moments where nothing seems to be happening that you're actually laying the foundation for something great. Patience allows you to stay focused on the bigger picture, not just the small, fleeting setbacks that might try to derail you. One of the most important aspects of patience is understanding that everything has its own time. Every goal, every dream, and every success requires its own rhythm. You can't rush the process of learning, growing, and improving. Just like a plant needs time to grow, so too does your journey. The growth may be subtle at first. It might not be visible on a day-to-day basis. But over time, you will begin to see the results of your consistent efforts. If you try to rush it, you risk missing out on the lessons that come with the journey. These lessons are what will truly shape you and prepare you for the success you're seeking. Patience also teaches you resilience. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like, especially when you're working hard and not seeing immediate results. But patience helps you weather these moments of doubt. It reminds you that setbacks aren't permanent and that you're capable of handling the ups and downs that come with any path of growth. Patience allows you to stay in the game long enough to see things through, even when it feels like nothing is moving forward. Another important aspect of patience is learning to manage your expectations. So often, we set ourselves up for disappointment by expecting everything to happen right away. But life doesn't always follow our timeline. Learning to manage expectations doesn't mean lowering your standards. It means understanding that progress takes time, and success is built on persistence. By adjusting your expectations and embracing the reality of slow, steady progress, you become more resilient in the face of challenges. You stop measuring your worth by how quickly you achieve things, and instead, you start measuring it by how much you're willing to stick with it. Patience is also about trusting yourself. It's easy to get frustrated and question whether you're doing the right thing when things aren't going as planned. But patience allows you to trust in your own ability, even when the results aren't immediately apparent. It's the confidence that comes from knowing that even in moments of uncertainty, you're still on the right path. Trusting the process is a powerful mindset shift. It's the belief that the work you're doing today will pay off in the future, even if you can't see it right now. But there's another layer to patience that's often overlooked. It's about embracing the journey, not just the destination. So often, we fixate on the end goal, thinking that once we reach it, everything will fall into place. But the truth is, the journey is just as important, if not more so, than the destination. It's through the process of working toward your goals that you learn, grow, and discover who you truly are. Patience helps you embrace the process, appreciate the small victories along the way, and stay grounded in the present moment. When you stop obsessing over the outcome and start appreciating the journey, you realize that every step forward is a success in itself. Patience also helps you build emotional control. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get swept up in frustration, impatience, or anger when things aren't going your way. But the person who learns to cultivate patience is also learning to control their emotions. They don't let short-term setbacks affect their long-term vision. They remain calm in the face of adversity and take things one step at a time. Emotional control gives you the clarity to make better decisions, to think more rationally, and to approach problems with a level head. When you look at people who have achieved great things, one thing they all have in common is patience. Whether it's an athlete training for years to reach the top of their sport, an entrepreneur building a business from the ground up, or an artist honing their craft, the ability to stay patient and persistent is key. Success doesn't come to those who give up when things get tough or when the results are slow. It comes to those who are willing to put in the work day after day, knowing that their efforts will eventually bear fruit. Patience isn't just something you have to rely on in moments of hardship. It's something you can use as a tool for growth. It allows you to learn from mistakes without rushing to fix them. It gives you the space to reflect and improve without feeling pressured by time. Patience is the quiet force that keeps you going, even when everything else might be pushing you to give up. It's the skill of waiting, not just passively, but with purpose, with the understanding that time is your ally, not your enemy. So as you continue your journey to become him, remember that patience is your greatest ally. Success won't come all at once, and that's okay. What matters is that you stay committed, stay patient, and trust that your efforts are building towards something extraordinary. Your future self will thank you for the patience you practice today. Keep going and the rewards will come, not just in the form of achievements, but in the person you become in the process. The journey to becoming someone you admire, someone you aspire to be, requires you to step into the life you envision, even before the world can see the results. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or for the right conditions to align. Becoming him is about creating that life in the present. It's about taking action now, understanding that who you become is not just a reflection of what you achieve, but also of the choices you make in every moment. When you start, it can feel like you're pretending. You might not feel ready, and you might not see the path clearly. But that's the point. The key is to act in alignment with who you want to become. Even when doubt creeps, this is where many people falter. They wait for the external validation or for things to fall into place before they fully step into their potential. But the truth is, you need to become the person first. You need to take on the habits, the mindset, and the behaviors of the person you aspire to be right now, even if it feels uncomfortable or unfamiliar. The act of embodying that future version of yourself, even when it's not easy, starts to shape your reality. It starts with small, seemingly insignificant actions. It's not about making grand gestures or huge leaps. It's about doing the little things consistently that align with the life you want to create. You might feel like you're not qualified, like you don't have all the knowledge or experience yet, but it's important to remember that you don't have to have it all figured out. The journey of becoming someone you admire is often about learning as you go, and it's okay to not have every answer at the beginning. What matters is that you're moving forward, even if those steps are small. One of the most powerful ways to begin embodying the person you want to be is to adopt the mindset of that person. What does your ideal self think, believe, and value? What would they do in situations where you're feeling uncertain or fearful? It's about making decisions that align with your values and long-term vision, not just the immediate, short-term desires that might steer you off course. Becoming him means that you start to think like the person you admire, and that thinking will naturally lead to different actions. It's a mental shift that leads to a physical shift in the way you live your life. Another part of becoming the person you want to be is to surround yourself with people who support your growth. You're the average of the people you spend the most time with, so choose wisely. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your identity. If you surround yourself with people who are constantly holding you back or who aren't aligned with your aspirations, it's going to be much harder to become who you want to be. Instead, find people who encourage you to grow, who challenge you to become better, and who believe in the potential you might not yet see in yourself. These people help you rise to your best self and keep you on track when it gets difficult. It's also important to understand that this journey is not linear. There will be moments of doubt, failure, and setbacks. But this doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. On the contrary, these moments are where the most growth happens. Becoming the person you want to be requires you to fail forward, to learn from your mistakes, and to not be afraid to make new ones. More than anything, growth doesn't happen by playing it safe. It happens when you push yourself, step outside of your comfort zone, and take risks. You'll make missteps along the way, but it's in those moments that you learn the most valuable lessons. This process also requires patience. You won't become who you want to be overnight. You won't wake up one day with all the qualities you admire, all the skills you desire, or all the achievements you hope to reach. It takes time, consistent effort, and the willingness to continue even when the results are not immediately visible. Trust the process. Trust that every small action is building towards the person you want to become, even if it feels slow. Remember that change takes time, and that every step you take brings you closer to becoming the person you've always dreamed of. One of the most important aspects of becoming him is to recognize that your external world is often a reflection of your internal world. How you see yourself, how you think about yourself, and how you treat yourself will show up in the way you interact with others and the opportunities that come your way. If you believe you are capable of becoming the best version of yourself, you will naturally start to take actions that reflect that belief. If you believe you are unworthy or not capable, you will unconsciously sabotage yourself. Your internal dialogue plays a powerful role in shaping your external reality. This means that you need to cultivate self-belief, and you need to treat yourself with the same respect and confidence that you would give to the person you admire. And don't forget that becoming someone extraordinary requires, it's not enough to act like that person for a day, a week, or even a month. You need to be consistent in your actions, thoughts, and decisions. This consistency will eventually form habits, and those habits will shape your character and the life you lead. You are what you repeatedly do, so make sure that your daily actions reflect the person you want to become. Ultimately, becoming him is about alignment. It's about making choices that align with your values, your vision, and the person you want to be. It's not about waiting for permission or for the perfect circumstances. It's about stepping into the life you want right now. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to becoming the person you envision. And remember, the world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It just needs you, fully committed, fully engaged, and fully aligned with who you are becoming. Keep taking those steps, and you will find yourself on the path to becoming the person you've always wanted to be.